When you activate your pure desires in a way that's harmonious with love all the time, you at that moment are being what God created you to be. Does that make sense to you? So, for example, if you've grown up with music all of your life and then you passionately get into music and you just really sink yourself into it and you're passionate about it, you will become successful with music. People will get to know you. If you have a pure desire with it, people will get to know you, and this passionate desire will go through the rest of your life, even after you pass from earth into the spirit world. And the more you bring yourself into harmony with that passionate desire, the more you're being yourself. And so what I learnt myself was that as long as I exercise my passionate desire, and my passionate desire has always been to connect firstly to God, as like I understood from my own background and my own readings in the first century, that I could actually become at one with God, like being in this unique condition, and that every single person who's ever lived also has the potential of being in that condition. But I realised that nobody had. And after a while, once I developed that passion and followed that passion to the end, what happened was I realised that passion inside of myself, which meant that now all of this truth could come through to me because I'm now at the state where I was at one with God, and now all that truth can come through me and be distributed to others. Now, many of you will have the same passion in your future. Like many of you already do have a passion for truth. Isn't that not the case? So many of you will activate this passion for the truth so much that you will so passionately desire the truth in your own life that you'll live it. And when you live it, you will automatically attract everyone around you who wants to listen to the truth, will be drawn to you as a result of you living it. So it's not as a result of you speaking it. It's as a result of you living it emotionally that things change. And once you understand that, you realise that even if you're up here and you're still progressing, you're still living it, so you're still progressing, you get to the point where you now see the potential of helping every single person who's ever lived with regard to truth. The majority of you in that position would have taken the same choice that myself and Mary took, I'm sure, right? Once you're in that space. Now, one of our emotions that we were going through today was we regret making that decision at times. So Mary had quite a long cry today about regretting that decision. But in the end, that's one of the emotions that we just need to work our way through, just like any other emotion, the emotion of having lost what we had. The problem for us is we remember what we had and how that felt, and we feel now like we've lost that. And obviously we haven't lost it. It's just a process of processing through that emotionally to recover it. But we feel we've lost it, so we've got to go through that emotionally. But for the majority of people, if they were in the position where they are at the pinnacle, if you like, of your development in love, for the majority of people in that position, if you had the opportunity now to help billions of people rather than just a few people, as you had been before, then I'm sure you would take that opportunity. So while I helped millions of people get into the celestial heavens, there are still billions of people in the other spheres of the spirit world who are not yet at one with God, who are not yet enjoying the things that I've enjoyed in the past in the spirit world, and I would love them to at least have the opportunity to have that experience. Now, when I was in that state and when Mary was in that state, we together can feel God's intention. And what will happen is as you progress on the divine love path, you will come more and more to feel God's intention. And you will have a choice to either bring your intention in harmony with God's intention or just to do your own thing. Now, what myself and Mary have chosen is to bring ourselves into harmony with God's intention. And one of God's intentions was for this period of time to be a time of change. So the time that we're living in right now is a critical, key time for humanity. It's not what the Christians foretell, and that is, me coming on a cloud with all my army, destroying the wicked and setting up paradisaic conditions on earth, nothing like that. And it's not what other religions foretell of calamitous events But there are a mixture of things that are going to occur this period of time. And the mixture of things include total economic change. Another thing includes total upheaval of the earth itself because of the damage that's being done to it from our soul condition. And so there's a lot of things that are going to happen over your lifetime if you live over the next few years that will be a part of the changes that need to occur. And what we are doing with you is a large part of those changes. At the moment, that's not well known, but it will become more and more well known as these changes come onto the planet. So we could see God's intention, and we ourselves had a desire to also be a part of that plan of God, if you like, and because of that chose to return and start this process at this particular period of time. And this particular period of time is the best time, because this is the period of time for multitudes of reasons that humanity is beginning to change. For example, I don't know if you're aware, but scientifically, time and space is compressive. In other words, it can be compressed and it can expand. And what's happening now is a speeding up of time in an emotional, experiential sense. Now, many of you are starting to realise that in your own life. Decisions that would have taken you 10 years to make before, you're making in a week. You know, how many of you 10 years ago would have easily given up your house to move to another house? Today, many of us moved within 1 year 4 or 5 times. Just bang, 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 because it wasn't suitable or whatever. How many of us would have easily moved out of relationships? You look at the previous generation of people, often they had bad relationship, but they never moved out of it their entire life. They stayed in it until they died. Now it's very rare for a person to stay in a relationship that's destructive to them for their entire life, because things are speeding up, things are changing. And this is all a part of what God has planned. And while God has everything under control, and I don't have anything under control, I can assist God's plan through my desire, or I can try to make it not happen through my desire. Now, obviously, God's God, and if I try to make it not happen through my desire, I really haven't got much chance at all, right? Because I'm really fighting against God. But if I exercise my desire harmonious with love and harmonious with God, I will enjoy the many beautiful things that God gives to those who exercise their desire in harmony with God's laws. And that's what I've personally experienced in my life, and that's one of the things that we wanted to teach as well. So there's a whole multitude of reasons why we've returned, but obviously, and many of them I've yet to explain, even though I've spoken for 300 hours to groups of people that are recorded. There's still many of those things that I've yet to explain. And of course can't be explained until the people who are listening are ready to hear what needs to be said. But that is all a part of what will happen in the future. If we can go
Thanks, AJ.
behind you to...